Hey everyone, Casey over here at Perception is Everything. Just wanted to thank you for going ahead, clicking on the link, and getting this far. And welcome to the 5 techniques that you and every business needs to be successful and have success on social media. Okay, I don't want to take up all your time, but before we get to the content, I just want to say that I know that if you're watching this video, you're a busy person just like I am, and I'm a small business owner out there in the entrepreneurial dog eat dog world, right? I spent the last 10 years in high intensity sales and sales management here in the Honolulu, Hawaii area, and have definitely learned a thing or two about sales techniques, marketing, and how to bring it all together, especially on different social media platforms. Now, I've worked for small firms, I've worked for mid-level firms. I actually just recently left my position at a Fortune 500 company so I could go ahead and pursue my dreams of running my own business the way that I wanted to. I combined all my passions and all the things that I'm amazing at, and I sit here before you today. Okay, the companies that I've worked for and helped in the past, they all grew over time, and for the most part had very happy clientele. But I digress. Let's get back to business, shall we? You're here for my 5 techniques or 5 simple things that'll go ahead and help you have success on social media. And here we go. You may sit here with me for about another, I want to say 12 to 15 minutes if I don't ad lib far too much. But yeah, let's just dive in, okay? You may want to write these down, alrighty? Number 1, identify your target market. You'll know much more than I do about who your target market for your business is, whether you provide a service or sell a physical product either online or at a real location. Now, maybe you own a restaurant or a bar with a fusion food menu, let's say, and have live music playing in the background, right? If your menu caters to having shot and drink specials after 5 p.m., okay, and the bands that you hire, for example, they play covers for Bruno Mars or Kanye West, I'd assume that your clientele are likely of the younger age group. And so you've got to create content that is very specific to marketing towards them. Now, on the flip side, if you're the same restaurant owner, but the bands that you hire play soft rock or jazz music or classical, then I'd assume that your clientele may be slightly older in age, okay? The type of people that like to sit back with an interesting meal, maybe pop open a bottle of wine and perhaps get their boogie on the dance floor until 8 or 9 p.m. No offense to anyone, all right? But what I'm trying to get at is you would definitely have to advertise differently between these two groups, wouldn't you? I mean, of course you would. And that's why it's so important to first identify your target market. Now, let's just say that you were a landscaper, a carpenter, interior decorator. You'd likely want to search out for folks ideally, possibly in their late 20s, but definitely into their 30s and beyond. You'd want to attract customers that have already bought their own home and they make a good annual salary so they can go ahead and they can pay for your services, right? Now, if you're a doctor, you'd want to specifically advertise to the people that could use your particular specialty the most. You wouldn't want to waste your time advertising to those who see no benefit to your practice or wouldn't opt in or something like that. If you're an orthodontist, you would likely want to market to parents with teenage kids or even young professionals out there who want a nicer smile. Okay. Now, see, the thing is, a lot of this sounds so simple. But the reality is that many who are on social media trying to promote their business either A, don't know who their true target market is, and B, if they do, they don't know how to properly advertise to them in a specific and in a cost-efficient way. And so many marketers out there right now, they're out there spending money and doing what they call boosting posts, okay, hoping that they get their word out there to the right people. And this brings me to my second point, okay, which is to utilize the social media channels relevant to your demographic and client base. Okay, I've had people tell me all the time about how they wish they had more likes or had more followers on their social media channels. And the first question that I always ask in reply is, are you using the right social media platform? More often than not, I get this kind of perplexed look back as a reply. And what I mean by this is actually really, really simple. Is the social media channel that you're using right for your customers or who you're trying to target or who you want your customers to be? Take, for example, the King Kong, of social media platforms, right? We all have heard of the Facebook story. We've all heard of Mark Zuckerberg, billionaire philanthropist, and he created a social network that right now has over 1.7 billion active users on Facebook. In fact, in the last quarter of 2016, that number was just below 1.8 billion users, which basically means if Facebook was a country, it would be the largest country in the entire world. And by that statistic, that means every business out there should definitely be marketing on Facebook, and setting up a business profile and putting themselves out there. But say, for example, if you live in a target market area such as Honolulu, Hawaii, it's safe to say that if you own a restaurant, you'd want to make sure that people in a 30-mile radius know who you are and where you're located. If you boosted posts, for example, and reached folks all the way out in Florida or Jersey or New York, it wouldn't do you much good. And you would have wasted your hard-earned money on having a great reach with your social media, but it wouldn't do you much good because your customers are 4,000 and 5,000 miles away. On the flip side of that, if you owned a clothing company, you'd want clients from all across the United States and probably even the globe. I mean, I know I would. Facebook is a platform that allows you to have that kind of reach. And you can decide whether or not you want your reach to be in a 30-mile span or a 4,000-mile span. And that's why it's so important to properly utilize social media channels. Now, what about the ever infamous Twitter, right? By recent estimations, there are 320 million users there as well. So what's the difference between Twitter and Facebook? Simple. Why? I guess the next question is, why should you use one over the other? For starters, 78% of Twitter users are younger than 50 years of age. I'm going to say that one more time. 78% of Twitter users are younger than 50 years of age. So what does that mean for you? That means if you're advertising your services to folks in their, I'm going to say senior years, no offense to anyone, but if you're advertising to folks in their senior years, you'd be least likely to use Twitter, okay? But if your customer base is younger than 50 years of age, one would say that having a Twitter is basically a necessity. Other than that, Twitter, at least for me primarily, when I started diving into Twitter myself, Twitter is a platform primarily for breaking news. Due to the simplicity of the site and how quick and easily it is to post, many people at the scene of a developing news story, they tweet about it. A few retweets later, and boom, the word has spread like wildfire. Twitter consistently beats traditional news outlets to a story, meaning that if something huge is going on, or if a new trend is popping up, you're most likely to find out about it on Twitter before any other social media channel. And more importantly than that, however, is that one of the best uses of Twitter is to go ahead and track online trends. If something is going viral, okay, it's most likely to happen on Twitter. The use of what is known as hashtags, okay, the old pound symbol, right, helps to track all of the trending topics on Twitter. And companies love it. Companies use it just to have a presence on social media where they can post updates about their latest product and immediately interact with their customers, hold quizzes, or just get great customer feedback. Next, Instagram. Let's go there. With its 500 million plus users, okay, is very popular for those folks who are especially visual, since IG only allows users to post pictures and short videos. Okay, now Instagram gives you the unique ability to augment your brand with visual content. It lets you decide how to showcase your brand. This allows businesses to dominate in terms of engagement. And according to Shopify, one of the largest e-commerce platforms for online retailers, Instagram referrals resulted in average order value of $65, much higher than any other platform. And part of this is because it's easier to keep your followers engaged on Instagram more than any other social media platform. You can post infographics, image quotes, graphic coupons, behind the scenes images. For video, even simpler. You can post short tutorials, behind the scenes clips, and all of these things will provide the opportunity to get your customer base involved and feel like they're a part of your journey. Okay. Now, as you can see, you need to find which platform works best for your message and spreading your brand, product, and service out there in the retail world. It's great to have a strong online presence and a bunch of followers, but you'll want to attract the right followers to help your business. Okay. Now next, once you've figured out what social media channels you should be using, this is your third point, by the way. The next mountain to conquer, and probably the most important one of them all, is to post content that is very compelling. Okay. Now, how do we do that? How do we determine what is compelling content? How do we rate that? How do we know if we're posting good content? Okay. Number one, valuable. How valuable is this content? And value here, it means, why do people buy from you? What do they value about you? For example, if you owned a pizza parlor, do you make your own dough? Are the veggies that you put on the pizza from a personal garden? If you're a dentist, do you specialize in, for example, chipped teeth, or more so with facial surgery? Next, is your content rare? A lot of people post pictures of burgers, pizzas, right? I mean, I see it. I can't scroll through any one of my feeds without seeing what someone ate for breakfast. Okay, but when you post it, you want to give them a feeling of like, wow, I've never seen that on social media. Okay, so if you're the restaurant making pizza, highlight the fact that maybe you're a custom pizzeria where customers, maybe they get to choose the toppings, and you make a custom pizza specifically for them. Maybe it's slow cooked in a brick oven pizza or something like that. If you were, say, a dentist again, if you were a dentist, you could post a before and after picture of work that you did on a client. At the end of the day, it's all rare content. Next, inimitable. I'm gonna say that one more time. Is your content inimitable? What that means is that how hard would it be for a competitor to make that same post? For example, if you're a doctor or a dentist, right, that's been in the business for over 30 years, post something like that. Post something about that, because a doctor new to his or her practice would not be able to say that. And I mean, personally, no offense to the guys that are trying to get their name and their word and their business out there and their practice out there. But if I had to choose between a guy that's been doing this, or a female rather, a man or a woman that's been doing this for 30 years versus for 2, I mean, that's got a little bit of weight when I decide who it is I want to go see to operate on me, right? If it was your pizza restaurant and your great grandmother brought over the secret tomato recipe dating back to her days as a child in Italy, that's something that no one else could copy. It alone makes it inimitable. Okay. Lastly, non-substitutable. So how do you convey to your customers that you have to eat such a great pizza, like you just can't live without it, right? Maybe you state a fact that says people who eat pizza are 50% happier than people that aren't. If you're a plastic surgeon, you could say that your clientele are 100% happier after they've received your service to fix whatever it is they considered an ailment. If you're an orthodontist, this is where before and after pictures are huge. You could showcase the difference between having a not so perfect smile to having a smiling client beaming with the best smile they've ever had in their life, and now their self-confidence is just pouring out through their face. Okay. And this is also where great reviews come into place. I don't advertise to just make up a stat, obviously. But again, this will represent the core reason why your customers come directly to you. It's part of your business's story that makes it unique. Okay. Now, the fourth thing of the 5 simple things: once you've started posting compelling content, you're sure to start noticing people following, retweeting, liking, and most importantly, commenting. Okay. The next of the 5 simple things to pay attention to is audience interaction. All right. Now, this may be your make or break, but I say that the amount of social interactions on a brand social media post do correlate with the number of visits to the brand's website. Basically, when social interactions are high, visits to the website tend to go up as well. When social media users are most engaged with the brand, they're also more likely to visit the brand site. Now, you may sit there and say, what does it really matter if people like the content on my social media? I just want them to buy. Well, yeah, duh, okay? Absolutely. The ultimate goal with campaigning on social media is to result in more business. But there are definitely steps to take in getting there, okay? Rome was not built in a day. You're not just going to go from 0 to 1,000 or 2,000 or 20,000 followers in a day. Trust me, I've tried. It's not that simple. Okay, because if your business is investing in content and social marketing, one of the first things that you want to know is whether or not anyone cares about your content and your social posts. Okay, engagement can be your first clue here. It's important to gauge what content and which types of social media posts most resonate with your audience. And if your posts are getting a lot of engagement, then that means you're probably on the right track. The next step is you got to go ahead and identify common patterns and take a look at which followers are engaging on your posts the most. Once you start seeing insights, such as your post being shared or retweeted, you know that your posts are being seen by a lot of people. But this means that higher social media engagement can drive larger exposure for your content and ultimately for your brand. Okay, so take the time to get to know people that are liking, commenting, following, and sharing your content. For a business owner, these are people that can help you out in ways that you don't even know. Okay, and lastly, folks, because I'm trying to stay within time here. The last of the 5 simple things that you need to have is a proper sales funnel. All right. I've never personally liked the term sales funnel. I prefer to call it a marketing funnel, or what it really is a sales pipeline. And the basics of a sales pipeline begin with you having an engaging post on your social media channels, and basically it compels your audience to click on it, maybe to retrieve a special offer or a coupon that you put out there, just to drum up business, right? Once these customers make it to your website, or the popular term these days is landing page, on this landing page, the idea is to get your potential customer to opt in for more information, to get them to buy now, or to get them to schedule with you for your services in the near future. If you need an example of this, you'll see it at the end of this video. Okay. Once this has been accomplished, you'll have all their information, including both name and email address, and use that opportunity to go ahead and follow up with your customer base via email, just to say thank you for your business. Once a month, put out a coupon, put out a special for your service that you provide that they might enjoy. Send out an email campaign and remarket to them, but always offer value. Okay. And there you have it, in under 17 minutes, my 5 tips for social media success. Okay, now you can take these 5 things and you'll be on your way to success with social media advertising. And as I've stated before, all this information is yours, absolutely free. Do what you will with it. Okay, but I gotta let you know, 65% of companies say that their top marketing challenge is generating traffic and generating leads, and an additional 60% of business owners say that they are unable to track ROI for their marketing. Now, let me tell you again that this information will eliminate a lot of work, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety from what it is that you're currently doing. And it will definitely help you obtain more high quality, high paying customers. Okay. And the best part of it all, you can pinpoint exactly where they come from. Okay. If you want to know more about this and more specific, in-depth information about who we are, what we do, click on the link below. Okay, and I tell you what, whether you want more information, whether you want our help in automating this process for you, click on the link below. Okay, I own and operate Perception is Everything, the social media marketing company to see here in Honolulu, Hawaii. If you already have social media channels up and just want help in optimizing what you already have, click the link below. If you don't have any social media and you're just curious about how it all works and want to implement a user-friendly, simple system, click the link below. If you decide that you want our expert help so you can rest easier at night knowing that we're working for you and we're out there telling your story and expanding your business for you, click the link below. Okay? I'll even do this. Schedule a consultation with me. I'll offer you a discount on our services for the lifetime of your contract just because you found us here on this webinar. In business, I've learned to appreciate those that have taken an interest in me, and I'm going to go ahead and reciprocate my appreciation back to you and help you with your business and just benefit from my over 10 years of experience and knowledge with sales, marketing, and social media. Okay, so click on the link below. Choose a date and time based upon how I can fit, how my team can fit into your schedule, and you definitely won't regret it. Until next time, have a great day. Enjoy life, and remember, perception is everything.